Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Here's some information about me. Definitely check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. This channel, the Ignition Time channel, is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. I'm going to talk to you about something that is very important to the livelihood of our fellow Americans. And I do believe that is something that we need to take a very close look at, and that is the $15 an hour minimum wage. Today on CNBC, a couple of hosts were essentially debating the pros and cons of the $15 an hour minimum wage proposal from the Biden administration. Now, keep in mind that there's a long way to go if this has to become reality. But here's a really interesting thing: if a small employer, small business decides to pay a minimum wage of $15 an hour, or is required to pay a federal minimum wage of $15 an hour, would that mean that they would let people go? And then the next question is, hey, why stop at $15? Why not raise the federal minimum wage to $500 an hour? Or for that matter, why not just bring it down to zero? Why mandate $15 an hour? Because there are many variables, including the cost of living, because somebody living in Alabama needs less money than somebody living in New York. But does that mean that just because someone lives in New York, they should have higher wages? So this opens up a can of worms and a series of questions that are quite difficult to handle. In fact, let's listen to this clip where a couple of CNBC hosts essentially go at it and say, hey, why not raise the federal minimum wage to $500 an hour or $100 an hour, bring it down to $0 an hour? Because the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, has shown that if the minimum wage is raised to $15 an hour, well over a million individuals, potentially as many as 3.7 million individuals, would lose their jobs, effectively making their minimum wage zero. There are two sides to this argument. Let's take a look at this clip, and I want to know what you think in the comments section below.
The comments from Janet Yellen, in fact, were met with, I know you saw the scuttlebutt. It was sort of, I don't know if it was 180 degrees from where she used to be, but a lot of people were cynically viewed it as, well, now that she's in this administration, she had to sort of get more in line with the thinking of the president, because this was not her viewpoint 3, 4, 5 years ago. Are you familiar with, I know you saw some of those articles probably. And then
I did.
The one other thing that you mentioned, obviously it mentions how far you go, or let's go to 500 an hour. I mean, so we'll, and really get some growth at that point, really have it filter through the economy. Woo-hoo!
You know what, Joe? I want to make a point about that, which is that both arguments suffer from what I call an ad absurdum fallacy, right? Which is that if the minimum wage is so great, why not raise it to 100? But on the other side, Joe, if the minimum wage is so bad, why not make it zero? And I think even you don't believe it should be zero.
You will make it zero.
And so if it shouldn't be zero,
for the 1.3 million people that lose their jobs, it will effectively become zero. And that was the median estimate. It was as high as 3.5 million, what the CBO said.
3.7, Joe.
3.7. But if you try to, when you try to manage wage and prices, either or, you're managing the marketplace. And by definition, usually unintended consequences result. And it's just inevitable.
Agreed. But what if the marketplace, Joe,
is not fair?
What if the marketplace is not open, free, and competitive? Right? What if you have this issue of monopsony where workers cannot go down the road? More and more people around the country, especially rural manufacturing, Joe, that's been a big issue where if you work at a small factory in a rural area, you cannot go and get another job down the road to raise your wage.
And we're moving towards automation either way, so you could blame all the McDonald's kiosks on minimum wages going up too much, but we're headed there anyway. So, you know, we got a couple of...
Now, there's one individual who thinks the minimum wage of $15 an hour is a terrible idea because it's going to force employers, specifically the small businesses in America, who, in his words, who you're about to hear, in his words, small businesses are on their knees. So, there is one individual who thinks that the $15 an hour minimum wage is an absolutely terrible idea because it's going to lead to individuals, it's going to lead to employers cutting jobs, and that individual is Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. Let's hear Kevin O'Leary's thoughts about why the $15 an hour federal minimum wage is a bad idea. And he even says that the Paycheck Protection Program is a bad idea because if you mandate $15 an hour, all the money that's coming in from the Paycheck Protection Program would effectively be gone by way of wages and the business would have no way to invest in itself, no way to invest in advertising, marketing, and no way to grow. Pretty incredible comments from Kevin O'Leary. I want to know what you think in the comment section below. First, let's take a look at this segment with Kevin O'Leary, who says that the $15 an hour federal minimum wage is, I quote, the worst idea I have ever heard, and he explains why. Let's watch.
About a $15 minimum wage, whether it's politically possible, what it would mean for workers and for business. We're joined by Mike Novogratz, CEO of Galaxy Digital, and Kevin O'Leary, chairman at O-Shares ETFs, Shark Tank co-host, and a CNBC contributor. How many businesses do you have investments in, O'Leary?
This is in America in almost every sector, in almost every geography. This is the worst idea I have ever heard at this time. This is a crazy idea right now.
But give us, what would it do, what would you do with the businesses that you're running that you have employees? Would you not hire people that you were going to hire? Would you fire people that are currently employed based on the business not making sense with wage prices that high?
First of all, Joe, let's all admit and agree that small business are on their knees right now. We have never gone through a period since March 7th like this, ever. And to go tell us that we should brace for a 20% increase in our costs at a time when purchase behaviors have changed all across America and we're trying to figure it out is just insane. And so, yes, we would start to look at cutting employees, not hiring new people. This is not the time for this idea. It makes no sense. It doesn't take into account the different regional costs of living. And on top of that, we're pouring maybe another PPP program on the top and then taking it away from them the minute they get it. I mean, that is beyond insane. That's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. This is not a good idea.
So, folks, let me know what you think of the $15 an hour minimum wage. Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? If it is a good idea, why the number of $15? Should it be adjusted for living wages? In other words, should it be adjusted for cost of living depending on where you live in the country? Because again, someone living in Arkansas, in Little Rock, Arkansas, needs less money than someone living in New York City or even Montclair, New Jersey. So let me know what you think about that. Also, let me know what you think of Kevin O'Leary's comments where he says $15 an hour is the worst idea I've ever heard. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll get a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn a little bit more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. We are all Americans first. I want you to know that I work very hard on this channel because I want to give you the latest information about the country that in turn impacts the economy, the day-to-day functioning of the country, and then by extension, your money. I encourage you to get on our SMS list, get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to our SMS alerts list moving forward. You can opt out of the SMS list at any point in time that you want. We'll send you breaking news and alerts on your cell phone, and you can opt out of them at any time you want. Also, please get on our email list. To get on our email list, simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. We look forward to having you as part of our growing community. Now, you can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can also, if you like, follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. The unique thing about Twitter, and you'll see my Twitter page on your screen right now. The unique thing about Twitter is you'll see what I'm reading. I retweet in real time. You'll be able to essentially follow along with me. So I encourage you to follow me on Twitter because our Twitter community is growing very, very rapidly. Speaking of community, I encourage you to comment below and become a part of our growing community. One of the things I'm proud about is the fact that our community is intelligent, bipartisan, respectful, and our community is growing very, very rapidly. So I invite you to join our community. I think you'll love it. Also, please share this video with just 2 friends or family members. Share this video with 2 friends or family members, and that tells the YouTube algorithm that you found the content helpful. I would appreciate that. You'll find the links to all of our resources in the description section below. And one final thing, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. That does help out the YouTube algorithm. Look, folks, I've been covering a lot of different types of information. So I cover stimulus information where I talk about lots of money. I've been covering politics where I talk about everything that went on with Trump everything that's now going on with President Biden, everything that's going on between Speaker Pelosi, everything that's going on between the Senate Minority Leader, Mitch McConnell, and the new Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, and the new balance of power in the United States, which is that the Democrats having control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. But they need to work, and they should work with the Republicans, because the best decisions come about when both sides work together. I'm hoping that every day can be a party atmosphere and we can be dancing together. Now, those were my dancing skills. No, but seriously, I want to make sure that you have the right information to manage your money. And then I want to give you the right information as far as politics is going on, as far as all these players, President Biden, House Speaker Pelosi, the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, what all of these individuals are doing and the impact that it has on the economy, which by extension has an impact on your money. So I'm covering all this in detail and trying to bring you the information so it's easy for you to understand. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would really appreciate that. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time.